Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for giving us the floor. This is Anouk. I'm Jan from the Bron. We want to give a presentation, of course, about Salesforce, and we want to discuss two topics. The first one is employee reports. So that's more the reporting part and email integration. Anouk will present that. At Van der Bron, we have a lot of employee targets. So for us, it's very important how many tasks people do that are the KPIs, and the people themselves want to check during a day, during a week, how are they on track. And for us, it's important that employee A can see his work, employee B can see his work, but not that they can see both, because that's too competitive in our opinion. So we make reports for that, and to do that, there are two ways. I call it, and it's by Salesforce called static dashboards and dynamic dashboards. I've made a kind of a business case. We work especially at front office with it, so the people who have problems, they call us, and then a front office employee works with Salesforce together to solve the problem. Let's say that there are 10 employees. When they do at the day 50 contacts, they're very good. To 30, then it's substance. And the goal of the reports is to have an indicator and to motivate people to do more. And as I said, there's one condition: an employee should only have access to his own reports. So with static dashboards, you can, for example, make a dashboard like this with all the information. This is quite a simple one. You can put all the information in it as you want. For example, here, this is the day target. And this is, for example, for the employee Martijn. A dashboard like this, very simple, but takes a lot of time to make, because you have to make all these reports. So we'll do it on the next slide. You have to make 5 different reports. You have to make, as you know, all one dashboard map. Each dashboard is built on reports, so you have to tweak them again, put the name on it. Now, it's boring, and it takes you a lot of time. Of course, it's very pragmatic if you have a good overview of it, so that's the pro of it. But like I said, a lot of work. It's not adjusting when employees are gone or there are new employees coming. You have to make the reports again, etc., etc. And there are some profile settings which can be difficult in that the employee can see other ones and is not allowed to only see his own reports. To say it in short, there are quite some problems with that. So therefore, dynamic dashboards. This is the last one. You see here a list. You got a lot of maps or folders for all your employees. In Salesforce, it's not possible to make subfolders. So you get it's becoming quite messy. So therefore, dynamic dashboards for us are the answer. You have to just create it once. In this case, you make 5 reports, 1 dashboard map, and just 6 reports for the 1 dashboard you have. It's way less work. But there's one limitation, and that's important, that Salesforce only let you or allow you to make 3, 5, or 10 dynamic dashboards, depending on what kind of Salesforce package you've got. So, for example, we've got the unlimited package, and we've got only 10 of those reports. So that's not so much. To give you an idea how to make dynamic dashboards, dashboards are based on reports. So first of all, in the report, I've marked it over here. You have to, most of the time you set it on all cases. Now it's on my cases. And the dashboard, you have to tweak not to run it as the one who made the report, or the dashboard, which is most of the time the case. When you open a dashboard, you see the name of the one who made it. Now you will see, if you log in, you will see your own name and get your own results. So the result of that is that you get the same dashboard, but now not with your name, but just my cases, because it's for everyone, it's the same. And in the right top, you see viewing as, and you see your own name standing there. Now you can add another thing to it, is that you allow people to make changes in who they are, or as who they logged in, so as who they view the dashboard. So for example, I can type a name in it, and that's on the next slide. the end result is here, but you see a dashboard, and you can just put the name of an employee in the right top. Salesforce, if you just keep 1, 2 letters, will give some names. And the names are or the one which in hierarchy in the organization lower than you, or it gives you all the people or none of the people in the organization. So in the last one, you can only view your own reports. That's what we want. To do that, you can authorize users for that. So you have to do that in the dashboard settings again. And you have to tweak the profiles because you have to put, it's a minor detail, but view all data. At that profile, you have to uncheck it. And the team dashboards, that's what I told you. People lower in hierarchy, you can see the reports of them. The greatest limitation is the amount of dashboards you can make dynamic. So when you have a lot of dashboards, how to find out which one are dynamic, which aren't. It's quite easy. You can make a new report type in the settings, a new custom report type with the primary object of dashboards. And you can just make a simple report, add the dashboard running user in equals run logged in user or authorized users change running user. And then that's what I said just before. Then you get the result, in our case, of 10 dashboards, which are dynamic. So here you can choose which are really important and have to be dynamic, or maybe if I want to make a new dashboard, which can I filter out? There's also another way, it's quite the same. You can do it by the developer console, and that's just a small query, which is stated over there, and you get the same list. So it's very easy to see, okay, even when you have hundreds of dashboards, which ones are dynamics, which aren't. And for us, the dynamic dashboard is really helpful because it's fast for an employee, it's fast for the manager to view different people, and it's very easy to make. So that's my part of the presentation.
So,
Thank you.
I'll continue with a bit of explanation on how we have or how we are handling email within our company. We're actually sending it from different sources. So the first one is Salesforce. We're sending them directly from Salesforce. Well, there's the outline of the content. We're also using Marketing Cloud as an email distributor. And we found some limitations, and therefore we found that an email handler was a good workaround for some of the issues we faced. So first, so first the Salesforce emails. They are constructed in Salesforce themselves. We use HTML templates for this, and that actually gives us great flexibility. So it enables you to tweak the email the exact way you want it to be. We use Visual Force components for this. Which makes it really a lot more standardized. So here you can see, for example, in the code that we use here, the email header, and this is a standard object that we use for each and every email, so that they all look similar in the end, or the same, well, with the same header. Then the emails are mostly triggered by a flow, and those flows can be sent from different sources. So first you have the automatic flows, and those are run by Salesforce itself. So for example, if we have a sign up, a flow is started, and as part of the sign up flow, an email is being sent to a customer. Then we have customer care. So they have an interface, and as soon as a question comes in, or they would like to have another copy of their contract, well, any example that we face, they can just click a button and an email will be sent to them as well. Then we have a personal page, which is called My Van der Bron. People can log in there and they can, for example, adjust their monthly payment. So we estimate the amount of energy they will be using. Let's say this is actually the amount that the previous person who lived in their apartment was using, but they are using way less. well, they can change it, they can tweak it, and also a confirmation email will be sent. And aside from that, there's also events, and those are sent from an external database. So, for example, if the company that we are in touch with estimates that this consumer will have lower energy use, then also the amount of this will be changed, and also an email will be triggered. So on the right-hand side, you can see an interface of the email. So you can see that we use several logics here. So we use, for example, merge fields. For example, here's my customer reference number. So please don't use it. But then also you can see, well, where I live, etc., and my name. And we use this by the fields that are previously, well, for example, the customer number. This is actually a field that we have in Salesforce. So we use the merge field for that. Then we also use other logics, which are then, for example, dependent on where the email is triggered. So if someone is getting a new contract because they asked for it for customer service, or they requested it on their personal page, a different content is being sent to them. So they, for example, receive an email saying, hey, you asked for a new contract, or you spoke with our customer care. And then we also make use of buttons. So if someone renewed their contract, for example, by phone, then we are legally obliged to ask them for a written permission, and we can do this through a button. So they receive a button in the email, and they can click it and thereby confirm the contract. So the visibility in Salesforce, you can see here there's two examples of the way it's shown in Salesforce, so that everyone knows who has received an email and what kind of email has been sent. And you can also look at the content of the email. This is not always the case. This is actually only the case with outbound emails that are triggered by a flow. So what if, for example, we have an inbound email, someone sent us an email, then how do we log this? Well, currently we do this manually. But at some point we'd like to go further with this email integration. So we want to actually do all of this from Salesforce. Then there's some other limitations. So there's a limit to the amount of emails that we can send, it's a very high limit, but it's a limit anyways. And there's also the order in which you are sending the email. So you have to adjust this in the triggers. So which flow are you going to give priority over which other flow? Then also Salesforce is not intended for marketing emails. So if you want to gather leads, or if you want to send people retention emails, then it's actually preferable to do that from a different program. And also we face one issue, which is also quite stringent, which is that we cannot track the opening of the emails. And that's something that's bothering us a bit as well. So one of the solutions of one of the previous problems is that we use Marketing Cloud as an email handler. So in Marketing Cloud, currently we have one flow set up completely, which is a retention flow. And we also use merge fields in this in this program. Well, you can see here the email that's programmed in Marketing Cloud. So as you can see, it's actually quite similar to the one you've previously seen in Salesforce, and that's because it's also an HTML-based email. But for Marketing Cloud, we also make use of AMP script, which is to declare the different objects there. The interface and possibilities, well, why we use Marketing Cloud, it's because it has a good integration with Salesforce. It's one of the only programs that's actually able to synchronize it on a quite real-time base. And also we use it because we can make decision splits based on information of the customers, but also based on, for example, if someone opened the email, or if someone received a text message, something like that is something that you can do with the integration with Social Studio if you have that. That's something that we're going to work on. We haven't finalized that quite yet, but we're working on that. Then there's also the integration with Salesforce also enables us to communicate the email sends with Salesforce so that you can show them. We currently use this as individual email results, which is actually a different field than the ones you've seen before. So the little envelopes, those are like a different interface than this one. So this is very useful, but it's not as nice as we wanted it to be. And also you can see that the name of the email is not very, for customer care, this is not very natural to work with this. So these are quite some limitations, and we also have we've also faced some limitations with the integration with Salesforce itself. As I don't know if you know, but it used to be ExactTarget and was bought over by Salesforce, and therefore the base of the programs is quite different. And it's quite a hassle to actually completely integrate them and to make sure that everything is well integrated and is refreshed on a timely basis. But we are working on it, and they've been very helpful though. So there's actually quite some. They're moving into the same direction. Yeah, sorry.
Can you name some of the challenges that you encountered during the integration?
The challenges.
Yeah. You mentioned that the synchronization can be challenging.
Yeah, sure.
The
most complex one? Right. Okay. So for example, what we wanted to do is we have used the synchronized data extensions. Yeah. And so we wanted to connect them based on their IDs. So we have IDs in Salesforce, and then we have IDs in Marketing Cloud. And then we had one data extension, which then connected the two. So let's say that someone has 2 houses, right? So therefore he has 2 connections, 2 energy connections. We're an energy company, right? So, then the one that would be in the data extension, we would pass along all the IDs of this specific customer, of its connection, of its, let's say, the amount of money he's paying for this house, etc. And then based on that, we would send him an email. And we would like to communicate the right information to this person. So let's say you live here at the South Ash. We actually wanted to say, hey, your contract is to be renewed. Would you like to renew your contract here, the contract that you have in the Salesforce building? So, but if you have 2 houses, then it would be difficult to actually make sure that the right connection is taken there. So let's say you have another apartment in the north of Amsterdam. We would want to connect the right information there. So this is one of the challenges we faced. And what we did about this is that we mirrored the data extensions. So instead of just having one set of synchronized data extensions, we multiply them so that you connect the set of information that you sent. All the IDs are unique, so it's all one-to-one connections. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I'm willing to explain more.
But what if I have like 4 houses? So I'm not very aware of marketing.
Yeah. No, so it's really about like the entry. So if you have 3 entries in that data extension, that's fine. But if you have several, right? How do I explain this well? So let's say.
So the issue is you have one customer who has multiple contracts or multiple
exactly.
energy connections.
Yeah.
What I understand is you have set up basically that you have one customer can only have one connection, but now the problem is there that a customer can have multiple connections.
Yeah. So well, if you enter a journey, if you enter a journey, then your entry enters the journey, right? So it's information, and it's a contact key. So the contact key is the one that will be passed along. but not the full set of data. It's only the contact key that remains there. So you lose all the other information. So if you go to the contact builder, I don't know if you're familiar with the contact builder. Yeah, so it's the contact key, and then in our case it has like a block of information or a block of data sets, which are then connected to integrated to the synchronized data extensions, right? So if this block contains some information and we put another block next to it, one of them will be dominant, right? So if you have a contract that is to be renewed, it is present in this block, but it's not present in this block, right? Does that make sense? Should I explain more afterwards?
Yeah.
Or, yeah? Shall we move on? Yeah, sorry.
Marketing Cloud, did you set it up in-house or you use the external advisor to set it up?
Yeah, so we have had an external company helping us, but they really like to implement their own vision. And we, for example, they didn't used to work with synchronized data extensions, for example. And this is something that is for us is very important, to be up to date with the information. If someone moves or if someone changes his phone number, or it's really important for us that we contact the right person at the right moment. So we actually started to work with custom activities, for example, which is something that they weren't used to. We used synchronized data extensions right now, which is also something they hadn't used before. They always worked with data extensions, so the ones that were then exported from a report, for example. So we wanted to explore different ways of working. So we actually did that ourselves, or our IT department actually has been quite well on that. So yeah, the way it is right now, we basically figured it out ourselves. Yeah, and we do have a lot of help from Salesforce, from Marketing Cloud. I have to say that as well. So we do call them on quite a frequent basis. Yes.
Okay. Did you look at Pardot at all? I don't
At Pardot?
Yeah,
yeah, so Pardot's more business to business oriented, and then Marketing Cloud is more business to customer, yeah. So which means that the amount of emails that you can send, and that's, well, in our case, we hope it increases a lot over time. So we chose Marketing Cloud for that, and also because it's more marketing driven. And we'd like to integrate it with Social Studio as well. I'm not sure how Pardot does that. I'm not sure. So yeah.
And where you had, when you consider Marketing Cloud, did you have other options that you explore? Or that was the.
Yeah, we've looked at HubSpot, for example. We've looked at. George, can you help me?
Interconnect.
Yeah.
So not per se things that. Not from this, only from Salesforce ecosystem. Yeah. So we looked at solutions, marketing solution. So yeah, Interconnect and a couple of others. And then we did also check. I think Willem did a small presentation on Pardot. Yeah. So we did also have a look at Pardot, but not other bigger one. First of all, because a lot of them are very expensive. I think there is one from Oracle, I think. I don't remember the name. So we didn't even consider it. And yeah, with this we were able to start like easy and then pump it up once we were more or less confident that it was working. And also, while we were in Salesforce, and then this was, as the guy said, it was the only one that was easily integrating. Otherwise, you still have to build logic to either you manually every time export and import in the tool, or you have to implement things. And for example, with the external tool like Interconnect, they had on the roadmap to integrate with Salesforce, but we're not actually there yet. So, for example, some solution we couldn't even use. So for us, integrating with Salesforce and being able to write an email, you can see a little bit of journey there. So you take decisions based on the things. And what they were trying to explain before is that inside data, the Marketing Cloud by default start as a customer. So customer is the center, so there is a contact, and then you build all the data set from the contact. But for us, the contact, because we have custom object below the contact, so for us, one contact can have multiple houses. So we have to denormalize the contact. So for us, the contact is not a real contact. We split his houses, so we put extra information inside the contract so that the contract is actually your house, because that is for us the let's say the
Yes, the leading object.
that is the discriminator. So we had to denormalize the data, and it took us a while to figure out, even with the partner. We had some lots of conversation to figure out how to come up with this data set. And another issue we had is that the more the data started to grow, the more we hit some internal limit of either Salesforce or Marketing Cloud, I remember, and we had to talk a lot with the Salesforce API.
Yeah, I heard about it. Now they released connector that solved the problem.
But it wasn't clear what it was actually coming from, and
now we had an error, and on the limit, so you can check all your limits for your org. There was nothing there, so we just received an email. Yeah, you hit the limit, and now we're trying to understand what limit. I mean, what is this email? Something hit the limit. We had no clue, and it was actually Marketing Cloud. And then the result was that basically it was not synchronizing. So we potentially had some old data, so non-synchronized data. It's I think it's a 6 hours. So after 6 hours, it would stop and then reset and resume. But then if it happened during the day and during some important moment, we might have disconnection with the data. So now we know.
So you actually synchronize everything from Marketing Cloud back into Salesforce, like click ratio and stuff. Because I've heard
what you can see, if I go back here, then this is actually where the information is stored. So this is not the only information that's here. You can only see if someone opened the email, if someone clicked, etc. In our case, we still have some issues to connect because Salesforce is built in a certain way, so, right? So you have like the account, and then you have multiple connections, and then to connect them we are still seeing an issue in that. So we one-to-one say the person that has clicked their email has renewed the contract. That's still a connection that is difficult for us to make, but we are able to see who renewed their contract and if they clicked and if they opened, what is their opening ratio. Yes, that's happening.
But you cannot, like in the Marketing Cloud, analyze what they clicked, which topics they were interested in, or which articles in the email.
In Marketing Cloud, yes, not in Salesforce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I heard that's difficult to get back into Salesforce, because there you want to see your customer profile.
Yeah, well, we always make sure to just put one button in like an email, so we actually know where they clicked if they clicked. But yeah, it's true what you say. I guess that's another issue. But you can see if you send different kind of emails, so not this. I'm not exactly sure about this, but we have different kind of emails, and then you can actually see where they clicked, etc. Yeah, there is a way to figure that out. Yes. Yeah, but it's not synchronized with Salesforce.
But so if they click the actual person in the email, they by that click renew their contracts?
No, that would be legally difficult to defend. No, you go to a landing page, and then in the landing page you can actually renew your contracts.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we were not that aggressive in the marketing. So where was I with the limit of this? If I go back, of this interface, we found this a bit limiting. So we did want it to be stored this way because we actually recognize this as a recognizable way to report on it, because they're all different kind of emails. So we do actually want to see it. For customer care, we wanted it to be different. So we're now using an email handler. And it's more visual, and you can then see, I didn't include a screenshot of that, but you can see it in the same way that the previous envelopes were shown. So we don't only use this for Marketing Cloud, we also use this for invoices, which are then sent from a different program again. And you could basically integrate this, for any other email client. So
I'm sorry, is Email Handler native Salesforce, or is that a third party?
Yeah, no, we're using a Salesforce email handler. Yes.
Yeah, but you have to write. Somebody has to code the actual email handler, right?
Yeah, it's code. Yeah. So that's also one reason why we're using Marketing Cloud, because it's way more intuitive in general. In Salesforce, if you want to send emails or custom emails, then you have to code everything, and that's less the case in Marketing Cloud. But yeah, in this specific case.
So the email handler is being used for incoming email.
For outgoing email. So this is also a limitation. So if you are sending an email, for example, through MailChimp, then it's not possible to actually use a BCC function there. And then email handler is also not working. So that's one of the limitations of email handler. So if you have a solution for that, then
Why do you send BCC?
so if the email handler needs a BCC to actually be able to recognize the email that it's being sent to.
Sorry, I think I get it. So you send basically the email. In the BCC, you send a separate email address, which is really long. And then if they get sent, if the customer then sends an email back, you are able to relate it to No,
this is not the case. So it's only for outgoing email. But the first part is exactly right. So we use the email handler for that, but not for the emails that come back to us.
Does that include the tracking facility that Marketing Cloud and other products have? So can you tell if you've sent the email out by email handler? Can you tell whether the email's been opened, for example?
Yeah. So also the email's not being sent from email handler. It's just being sent to email handler as well.
I understand the functionality now.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not an actual program or anything. It's just a way to report the emails in Salesforce.
And you're using MailChimp to send marketing?
No. Yeah. So this is the one way we cannot use email handler. So if we use MailChimp, there's no way we can track them back or to put them back in Salesforce.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, with email handler, you can put every email you send with other systems inside Salesforce. So you can have it attached to an account. Where do we put them? In a case, right?
Yeah, we put them in a case.
They appear in the case for the specific account. Yeah. So you send an email with whatever you have, your own system, even manually, if you're able to generate this long thing. And then it will end up to the
it's just a login
inside yourself. Yeah.
Are you also using
it's a tracker of the email that you send from outside Salesforce.
Right.
And then they end up inside Salesforce as a reporting.
We
at least use it as a reporting thing, so that our service, when they open a case, a customer call, they can see, oh, this guy received an email, and even if it's sent by another application, HubSpot, right? We're using.
Yeah, for example, for leads.
Are you also using email to case? Which means that if you send an email as a customer service agent from a case, and the customer then replies to that email, the email gets automatically attached to that same case again?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
I think, yes.
Yeah, we do? Okay, I'm not sure. This is no area.
It's a pilot.
Okay.
That's why not everybody knows in the company.
Sure.
Because it's only one. No, because I mean, it can generate potentially a lot of traffic and things. So we're still experiencing, and also to generate cases, we want to be sure that we can handle that. So automatically generate cases is not always a good idea. Well, especially for us, we do need to close all the cases. So all the cases in our system needs to be closed. So if every email we receive, thank you, oh, hello, or I don't know, whatever, it ends up into a case, then it needs to be closed. So we really need to be sure. There
in
is
that sense.
one department in
Yep.
Underground that it is actually using this. I don't know the details because I think it's all going smoothly. It's just the configuration and all the emails that are sent to our back office. So it's just internal messaging. All the back office email, they end up in a case, and that's it.
Okay.
So, but it's quite smooth as far I didn't hear any problem yet.
What I'm working on right now is basically, of course, you were talking about if you send an email to a company like Van der Bron, it can be turned automatically into a case.
Yeah.
What maybe would be nice for Van der Bron if as an agent, so as a customer service agent, you send an email from a case and the customer then replies, the email then is automatically attached to the same case again. So you can really
Right. So
work
it's
on the
yes.
same case.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it starts to be feed.
Exactly. So that's nice. Yeah.
We didn't yet. I mean,
Okay.
that is something that is in the roadmap.
Great.
But
Good stuff.
for now, it's
So that's it, I guess. I don't know if you have any questions.
Your problem with the multiple connections per account, have you
Yeah.
solved that completely, or
Yeah.
do you still look for a solution?
No, we have solved it. Yeah.
Okay, because it would be an idea to think a completely different way
Like?
and not see me as a customer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see the connection as the customer. You can-
Right, but we would have to
you-
turn our system upside
that's-
down.
That's what.
That's basically what we do. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
okay. And make me an attribute of the connection.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that. Also, I think because it. Yeah. Do you want me to? I can go and.
I'm going to suggest people can pick this one
Yeah.
up in the break. They
Yeah.
want to know
I
about
think that's a better plan as well.
where your household fits on the Van der Bron system. But can I thank Van der Bron very much for this insight, warts and all, about the Salesforce platform. This is what I'm coming back to, warts and all. Salesforce is great, I love it. Occasionally it's bloody frustrating. But we'll come back in 8 o'clock, so 15 minutes. No pizza, sorry. More beers. I'll fix pizza next time.